It's all over social media. The girls are calling it the great lock-in. So what that is the girls are using the last 90 days out of the year to become unrecognizable by January. Okay, so if you had bed rotted up until this point, scroll away your life, or just didn't take action, I mean those January goals are just sitting there collecting dust. If that sounds like you, this video could really help you, because I'm going to be giving you 3 tips to help you to build crazy momentum and do some main character things before the year had ended. By the way, I'm Tabia, your internet bestie. Wagwan, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Now let's get right into it. If you don't want to go out sad at the end of the year, I highly suggest you implement this first tip that I'm going to give you. So the first tip to have a successful great lock-in is to implement personal consecration, or consecrations, more than one possibly. Basically, what a consecration is, to begin with, it's when you take something ordinary and you dedicate it for an extraordinary purpose or a higher purpose. So when I say have a personal consecration, I'm just saying, sis, take something that is ordinary, and I'm going to give you some examples. Take something that is ordinary and dedicate it to something of a higher purpose in your life, such as becoming your best self, achieving your goals, and things like that. So what you have to know is some of your faves, the people that you admire and you look up to and you think they're like a different kind of human, like they have purple or orange blood while you have red, those people, what they have a lot of times that cause them to have the kind of results that they have is personal consecration. So let's take Kobe Bryant for example. There was this coach that was going to start working with his team, and the coach was like, I went there thinking, I'm going to impress everybody because I was so early. That was like 5 a.m. He said, as he's going towards the court, he's hearing the basketball making those sounds. So he said when he got there, to his surprise, Kobe was already there. And not only was he there, he was sweating. So he'd been there. So the coach found out that his personal consecration was that he practiced before practice. When he got on that field, who was his equal really? Like he separated himself so much from the other players through his personal consecration, right? That extra reps that he put in, the extra showing up, the extra morning, the extra hours, it compounded, and he was a different kind of player compared to a lot of them on that court. The second person that had a personal consecration is Stephen King. He said that he would write every day, even if it's holidays. There was no days off. He would write every single day.
If you see Steph Curry, he's one of the Warriors, he makes those three-point shots from almost half court, right? He releases the ball, he doesn't wait to go through, he turns around, and just like he already knows it's in. Like, how does he do that? He's a genius. Well, true, but where did the genius come from? He's been shooting 500 shots a day, every single day, 7 days a week, for his entire adult life and most of his teens. Now think about that. He's been in the NBA 15 years. He's the greatest three-point shooter in the history of the world. He made 3,360 something shots now, three-point shots. No one even close. Watch this. So people get rewarded in public for what they practice in private.
Yeah.
So I know you get the point. What I'm not saying to you is to burn yourself out and to become an extremist. That is not the message here, okay? I am just saying that having a personal consecration is how you can widen the gap between you and your competition, even if your competition is who you were last year. The good thing about a personal consecration is that it is that. Personal. It's not something that I should tell you what to do. It's not something you necessarily have to read anywhere. It is something that is personal to you, and it might not even make sense to anybody else, but truly it helps you to make progress. For example, nowhere is it written down that in order to be a successful businessman, you can't smoke weed, but you'll find bro staying away from those things, and truly it helps him to advance. Nowhere is it written that you can't go clubbing and have good grades, but little Miss Honor Roll is staying away from those things because she consecrated the later parts of her evening to either studying or going to her bed early. Like, if you ever had the privilege to go around successful people that are successful on any level, you'll find out those people aren't just standing on the ground. They are standing on personal consecrations that defend the results that you see happening in their life. And here's the thing, sis, you don't need 100 consecration for your great lock-in. You can just identify one ordinary thing that you can do or that you can set aside for your growth and progress in life. So that could be your time, That could be the environments that you hang out and places that you go. That could be your consumption. So you might say, I'm not going to be on social media for the next 3 months or 90 days. You could say, I'm not going to be listening to music for the next 90 days. It could be something that is just ordinary that you're willing to basically sacrifice to make progress. Some of you, it could be, I'm not going to be watching Netflix, okay? That TV remote is what's standing between you and your destiny. Okay. So it could be things like that. So your consecration doesn't necessarily have to be something you do, like writing or studying or going to the gym. Sometimes it could be what you avoid, like music, TV, social media, gossiping. That's consumption. Sometimes it could be what you consume. Sometimes it could be what you practice. Sometimes it could be what you sacrifice. So you probably would sacrifice money, your resources, right? So it could be, I'm going to be putting X amount of dollars aside to go towards X, to go towards Y, right? So your personal consecration can take on many forms. The idea here is just find something that is ordinary that you're going to dedicate it to making progress in life. It could be your mornings, it could be your evenings, it could be your day offs, right? So no more going out on your day offs, no more running around like a headless chicken when you got time off from work, right? But dedicating it to your higher purpose. But the point here is not just to abstain from things, it's about doing things or not doing things so that you can advance, so that you can make progress. Now, if you have a personal consecration, but you get this thing wrong that I'm about to tell you next, it could defeat the whole purpose of having a great lock-in. So let's go into chapter 2. Now, when a lot of people hear about the great lock-in, the first thing comes to their mind is, wow, it's time for me to go beast mode and just start chasing the bag, bro. It's time for me to just chase the money. It's time for me to chase the awards. It's time for me to chase the followers. It's time for me to chase the promotion at work. It's time to go hard. Please, that is not what the great lock-in is about, okay? The thing is, when you chase things, everything runs from you. When you chase the best version of yourself, everything naturally attracts itself to you, or everything naturally gravitates towards you. So you want to get out of this chasing energy, focusing on what you want energy, and focus on working on yourself, okay? This is not no woo-woo concept, okay? Like you have been hearing. This is practical advice. If you look at athletes, what do they want? They want an award, but do they sit down all day reading about trophies? Do they sit down all day reading about scoreboards? They don't. Instead, what do? They show up and they practice again and again and again and again, and they live the type of life that you and I probably won't be willing to live. And after they've gone through that process, the trophies come, the girls come, the money come, the contract comes. So the point I'm making is that you want to focus on yourself and let the things that are byproducts, a lot of things that you want is byproduct of being a certain type of person and living your life a certain type of way. Success is a receipt, okay? Physical, material things, money, all those things, those are physical, those are receipts. I was about to say physical receipt, then I'm like, what if someone thinks about an actual receipt? So my advice is, Miss Entrepreneur watching this, stop counting sales. Stop looking at the money or the amount you want to make and start focusing on getting better at solving problems. Get better at packaging your ideas better and presenting it and promoting it to the world better. Focus on becoming a better marketer, right? A better problem solver, and being consistent with your marketing endeavors. Miss Influencer, stop counting how many followers you have. Oh, only X amount of people watched, or I only have X amount and this person have X amount. No. Focus on posting consistently. Focus on doing what you are supposed to do, and you'll realize you don't got to be chasing brand deals anymore. You don't got to be begging people to subscribe, begging people to follow your Instagram. You don't got to be begging, okay? You're chasing and begging because you haven't developed yourself enough that things naturally come to you. Once you have developed and work on yourself so much, one day you're going to be choosing and refusing brand deals, okay? But those things come after you work on yourself, not on a number, okay? Not on money. You can't work on those things. The only thing you can do in life truly is work on yourself. You cannot work on those material things or those external things. The only thing you can work on is yourself. So for this great lock-in, okay, let's not focus on what we want or what we're trying to get or where we're trying to go or focus on a number, but let's focus on being the best version of ourselves. So everything that we want will be naturally attracted granted to us. Because the thing is this, a lot of us right now, what we call goals, we can do way more than that, right? Have you ever set a goal so low, and once you start doing the thing, you completely surpass your expectation? You surpass your expectation because the goals, goals are all right. It gives you direction in life, but at the end of the day, it's what you work for, you get. And sometimes based on how you've developed yourself, based on how you execute, you get way more than what you were expecting. Like, for example, I remember when I was starting a business and I said, if I just make the $29 to pay Shopify, I would be good. Like, that was the goal, right? I didn't even have confidence to believe greatly, but the first year I closed with $100,000 in revenue, right? So sometimes I'm telling you, like, you don't got to worry about goals once you become the best version of yourself. How I ended up doing that was being truly obsessed with what I was doing. When other people are posting and ghosting, I was always there 3 times per day. I was paying attention to like what my community like and make sure that my page wouldn't be enjoyed just by customers, but if someone was just slightly interested in what my business do, they would want to follow me for the content itself. And so because of that, I saw success by developing myself. I didn't get better necessarily by, reading more about sales. I didn't get better by watching the sales dashboard all day and, feeling like I deserve more and the universe should be sorry for me, right? I didn't feel that kind of way. So I worked on myself, and as a result, I surpassed my goals. I surpassed my expectation. And so I'm presenting you the same thing. This time, stop watching the scale and watch what you eat, okay? This time around, stop watching your grades and watch your study schedule. Watch how you're handing in assignments on time. This time around, stop watching your followers' growth and just watch how much time you are posting. That is what I'm presenting to you today. Now, one of the biggest roadblocks when it comes to locking in is something that a lot of people is not even expecting, and that's what I'm going to get into next. So I'm wondering if anyone even made it this far into the video. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you give the video a like or leave a comment just so that I know that you made it this far, okay? Don't just listen passively, okay? Go and like the video. Okay. So something really powerful people overlook when it comes to locking in or pursuing their goals is the power of silence, sis. Using your mouth too much can destroy everything that you've been building so far. So when I say the power of silence, I don't mean you sit quietly in a room meditating or sitting down silently with yourself and your thoughts. That's not what I mean when I'm talking about the power of silence. I'm talking about keeping your mouth closed about your goals, your moves, and what you are up to, okay? Your goals, your dreams, your desires, things that you're working on, those are intimate. You don't have to share that with the whole world. That doesn't have to be all over social media. Your family could be even living in the same house as you. They don't need to know what you're about to do, okay? Some of you, like especially guys, you love to tell people to play. Oh, the play is this. Oh, bro, the play is this. Oh, the play is this. And then you don't do it. And now you look goofy. Everyone doesn't need to know the play. You can just show the score sometimes. Because here's the thing that happens. Sometimes you tell your big goals to small minds and they use your negativity and kill it. This is how I feel about it. You probably feel differently about it, but the way I feel about it is if they're not going to partner with it, if they're not going to advise it, if they're not going to invest in it and so forth, they don't need to know about it. Like some of you, you're just so innocent, like you don't really understand life. For example, you tell your friend, oh, on Fridays, I'm going to, start studying so I can get my grades up. All of a sudden, every single Friday, that's when she want to go out and she invites you. And if you don't go, you're a bad friend or you switched up. That's how a lot of people is. They will try to sabotage you in some seemingly innocent ways. That example is just kind of a far-fetched one, but overall in life, when you're working towards things, you're building on things, you should shut your mouth. Like moving in silence is not just for the great lock-in. It's a wisdom key overall for life. Like, let me give you an example. My mom was at work and those things where they kind of give you feedback or they tell you your evaluation for the past year, like areas you need to improve, what you're doing well and things like that. So my mom went in and they told her, this year you improved the most, you were exceptional this year, all types of things like that. So when she came out of the office, the other workers were like, what did they say to you? What did they say? And my mom was like, oh, she said I came late 3 times, and they all laughed and merry and they move on with their life. Now you might say, did she lie? She didn't lie about the 3 times late, but she only told them that part because a lot of y'all, you don't know, when you open your mouth and you say certain things to people, you create unnecessary enemy for yourself because some people are very envious. Okay, you create unnecessary warfare on your job by just talking too much. You tell your boss you plan to save and build a big business that's making X amount of dollars. Now they're looking at you as competition, meanwhile you're working for them. Sometimes it's best to just shut up. And another one was when my mom was telling, friends and family that I'm going into nursing school and stuff, they started to tell her like every day people who were failing. Now this could look innocent to you, but they were telling her stories after stories. Oh, this person failed. I know this person that failed. They don't know nobody that succeeded. All of a sudden, everybody they knew that attempted, they failed. And it turns out I started this school. I have a 4.0 GPA. I get 90, over a 90 average in every single class I've done. And I'm on presidential honor roll. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes people will come at you with these negativity. They know everybody that failed the thing you want to do. Oh, you want to do business? I heard it's a tough year. The economy isn't good. They're doing this, the Democrats, the Republicans. So you just gotta, just don't invite the negativity in. Something I learned in life is that whenever you tell somebody about something, you are opening the door for their energy to come in. So if they're negative and you tell them something, unless you want their negativity to come into that situation and to infect your mind concerning that situation, you don't tell that person, right? Every time you tell someone something, you are inviting whatever energy they have into what you're talking about. Okay, this is not necessarily just about goals. Okay, I'm going deep into this, but I'm gonna just roll with it. So basically, you are protecting what you got going on. Everybody doesn't need to know you're trying to lose weight. Let them see the weight loss. Sometimes you go to people and you tell them things and they start reminding you of all the other times you failed, all the other people that failed. And by the time you finish talking with them, you were hopeful, you were optimistic, you thought you had a good idea, you thought you were about to go on a journey, and then you told them. And by the time they're finished talking, what you realize is that you were shot. You were shot with arrows. Those were not just words, because if they were just words, you wouldn't leave feeling as defeated. After you finished talking with them, the little light had been snuffed out of you. The little hope has been snuffed out. All of a sudden, you had doubts that you didn't even think about. And it's not that they're giving constructive criticism, because they haven't constructed a thing to be giving you constructive criticism. They just have the criticism part locked in, right? So you have to know the difference between constructive criticism, and you won't have to know the difference if you had just shut up to begin with. Because I'm telling you, it's after you have conversation with some of these people about some things and about your dreams and about your goals, and when you walk away, that's when you realize those were not just words, they were arrows, because of how they left you feeling defeated afterwards. So I'm not saying you can't have people that you can share your goals with. Of course, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people in your life who they are perpetually doubtful, perpetually envious. You never heard them say a good thing about a soul since you knew them. They love to criticize. They tear down everyone and everything. Those are the type of people I'm talking about, right? And even if they got good energy still, sometimes to me, they don't gotta know, right? If they are not going to help you with it, then they don't need to know about it. That's how I feel personally. So what I'm saying is protect yourself, protect your goals, protect your light, protect the little hope that you have, protect that small light of hope that you have. And this is not even motivation. This is just straight wisdom. Now I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. If you like the video, make sure that you tell me. And if you struggle with the laziness but you want to lock in, make sure you check out my last 2 videos that I created. So yeah, that's it. Bye.